Blockchain will allow to register cars in a much more secure way than today. If you look at old-timer cars like this one, it's actually a collection item which has a value. It's a bit like a Picasso for the car industry. So you need to secure it in a way that when you buy it, you make sure that it's the original, that the pieces that have been replaced by original pieces, that has been taken care of correctly, and that your item has the value that you pay for.
Because there are real problems for frauds that needs to be fixed?
There are, and with blockchain we have a new technology to help track the whole supply chain of parts and cars, and to go back in time in terms of ownership, who did what work on the car, who owned the car before, who paid what price. So you have a much better chain of items that you can analyze.
And the word blockchain is a bit scary for many people, but from a user perspective it seems quite easy. Is that really easy to use?
Once you use tools like this, then it gets easy. But if you have to program everything from scratch, then it's not. It's a technology which is so new that it's very difficult to work with it. That's why we created this project Proxeus. I mean, our ambition is to create a platform where anyone in some time will be able to build applications using blockchain. A bit like if you look at the internet, at the beginning you had to write everything by hand in HTML code, and then after you had tools like WordPress, for example, allowing you to take some blocks and put them together in a way that you could create websites more easily. We do the same for blockchain.
And how can you guarantee that the documents are original, that no one wants to change parts of it?
So when a document is registered, it's produced in two formats. There is a PDF, which can be sent via email, which can be printed out, archived, and there is a so-called JSON artifact, which is a sort of mini database, and both are put in a container, which is then sealed and cryptographically marked. And if you receive the PDF via email, you can check it on an interface we provide to make sure that this PDF is the one that has been registered on the blockchain. There is like a match, a cryptographic match showing the documents.
And was there really a need to use blockchain? Are you filling a gap?
Yeah, it makes things easier for collectors, it makes things easier for car sellers, it will make things easier for a lot of industries in the future, and the currently most use cases that are built with blockchain could be built with traditional technologies, but for us it's about putting the first stone into creating something bigger, because what we will see emerge over the next years will be decentralized ecosystems, where it's not just going to be about creating one use case for one specific company, but creating a whole ecosystem of use cases. And for that you will need blockchain as a main layer to connect all those proprietary systems between one another.
And apart from cars, what other markets could be used with your company and through blockchain?
Pretty much anything. If you think of items that can be collected, you have cars, you have paintings, you have many other rare collectibles, bottles of wine, for example. But that's just one spectrum, tokenizing assets and putting them on blockchain. You can use blockchain for a lot of other things. We've been tokenizing university diplomas for the University of Basel a few weeks back. We've been using a smart contract to accelerate the way a Swiss company is created. So there is a whole series of examples, and I think blockchain will have the same impact at the end as internet had on the economy. Just in a few years, it's going to be a new wave of digitization coming.
And you said tokenizing items. What does that mean exactly?
It means taking your item, registering it on blockchain, and potentially dividing it into a series of so-called tokens, which are like digital objects. You can see them a bit like digital prints of the physical objects. In the future, when you will exchange goods, you will always receive the physical one, the car, and you will receive the digital certificate, which will be represented by a token on the blockchain. And that token will move from the crypto identity of the car owner, the old car owner, to yours, the new car owner.
So that means that I could own just a small percentage of a car.
And that means if you don't buy a whole car, but you divide tokens into several parts, you could buy a small percentage of a car and invest into old-timers. Right now, investing into old-timers is something that only the very rich can do, because such a car costs maybe $500,000. And then if you want to have a portfolio of cars, you need 3 or 4 cars. And if cars must be a part of your overall asset of portfolio, that is maybe 1%, then if you don't have hundreds of millions, it's not really an investment you can make in a reasonable fashion. But if you buy for 1,000 francs of such a car, or 10,000 francs, then you can really include rare assets into your portfolios, and you'll be able to do the same with paintings, rare wines, or whatever in the future. It's going to make rare assets much more accessible to anyone.
But would people really want to own just a tiny bit of a car? I mean, it's an object, you want to have it in your garage and use it and drive it.
Ideally, yeah, but there are people who buy cars for collection purposes, for investment purposes, and those people keep their cars in secure places where they will be protected. So for them, I think investing into an asset that could be sold at a later point makes sense. Yeah?
And so for you, blockchain will highly develop in the future, and we could see it in different markets.
Blockchain, yeah, blockchain will bring the same type of change to society and business than the internet brought 20, 25 years ago. It's going to be, now it's coming with every company doing prototypes to start understanding what blockchain is about, what it will change for their business. But over the next few years, it's going to move from prototypes to live applications, where we'll see blockchain ecosystems being built. And at the end, it's going to be the same as with the internet revolution, where the old players that didn't adapt disappeared and new big players will appear. And with blockchain, it's going to be the same. We'll see a new range of large blockchain companies emerging that will have understood the new market needs and will have created something to fill them.
And you at Proxeus, you partner with other companies to create blockchain together, offer them a system.
We partner with a series of companies to help them, like Mercuria Helvetica, to digitize their assets using blockchain, or to create blockchain applications more generally. And we've been doing that with a series of companies so far, and organizations, the University of Basel, Digital Switzerland, with whom we've been creating a Swiss company, Swiss Aktiengesellschaft on blockchain. At the end, the goal of Proxeus is to create a platform which is open for anyone to come and create their blockchain applications. So anyone who has an idea right now cannot work with blockchain because it's very complicated code and they don't have the expertise. But in the future, our goal is that they can just log into our website with their crypto identity and start building their blockchain use case by dragging and dropping elements. A blockchain use case is usually about documents like here a car certificate that you identify and that you program in a way that they can be registered on blockchain and connected to the crypto identity of the person either owning the item or owning the process.
And do you see an increase of interest of companies who approach you in the last month?
Very much. We have, we had hundreds of demands for similar projects. Every day someone new comes at our door and wants to do blockchain projects. I think every company now has realized that blockchain will be a real game changer, so they are getting ready for this transition. I think 2018 will be about doing the proof of concept prototypes to understand how blockchain will have an impact on the business, and 2019 and 20 will be about building those cases in order to come with real live and productive blockchain applications.